If I'm creating, I feel like there's something that I'm contributing and something that I'm part of. And if I'm not doing that, what am I doing?
As artists, it is our job and our duty to constantly be learning, growing, and evolving. And the minute you stop, that's when you need to get out of the business. And hearing you talk about, this is what I do, this is my purpose, this brings me joy, I am contributing through my work, I very much resonate with that. And I think everybody else in our field, in the coalition, has similar sentiments to that. Oh. Hi.
Here it is.
Hello. How are you? How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Busy. But, you know, it's been nice to have something to channel my energy and lack of work into. So, how's your day? How you doing?
Good. I'm illustrating for a TV project.
Did you go to school for what you're doing and where you are?
Yes, I went to Academy of Applied Arts in Belgrade, in Serbia. I was supposed to study painting, and that was my first love. But then I kind of decided to make it more specific and to make it costume and fashion design, because I thought maybe I should do fashion. And then as soon as I started kind of learning more about costume design, it was kind of almost clear vision that that's what I'm supposed to do.
What about fashion that you said no? Or is it what about costumes that pulled you from fashion?
I think one of the main thing was the mass production of fashion. There's something about that consumer quality that I was just not attracted to. And I think as far as costume design, I love that it's just almost like creating sculptural wearable pieces, you know. And I think that's where I was always excited about.
After you're done with school, what's next?
I moved to New York in July of 2011, and then I kind of slowly started working here. At first, I worked for window display companies and window display studios, because I also have love for soft sculpture and window display world. And then slowly I also worked at Parsons Mirrors. That was one of my first places where I kind of got into costume shops in New York. And I always loved that world in between, where you get to think about and visualize things, and at the same time have the ability to make it, and to think about the ways that it can be brought to life. And I love that process. So I was always, even though I'm educated to be a designer and I have experience to be a designer, I love putting my hands on things. I love creating. I love testing new materials and playing with new techniques and new machines.
You are very unique in your work in that you really fuse together the art of costume and clothing making with technology. Can you talk about that journey to really bringing in technology, and then what is the technology that you use?
I think I was always interested. First, thank you. I feel like I'm still like a student. I have so much to learn, and there's never enough you can learn about the things that are coming out. But I was always interested in creating structures and creating things that are kind of defying the gravity in some ways. My curiosity was always about finding the new thing. And of course, I was interested in laser cutting, and knowing Illustrator and Photoshop, I knew that I have the ability to communicate with those machines, or to kind of prepare the files for those machines. And as soon as I started kind of using some of that in New York, I kind of immediately decided that's the thing that I want to just continue doing.
Can we talk about some of your more favorite projects that you've had over the years?
There's so many of them. I think I would say that creating frozen crowns was really fun. There was project for Saturday Night Live, and I created this. I mean, with my team at the studio, we created this costume for Hippolyta, and it was just insane turnaround for Saturday Night Live, and we somehow made this full body armor and worbla, and it was just phenomenal.
Hippolyta, Saturday Night Live. Hippolyta is the name of a character in Midsummer Night's Dream.
Wonder Woman's mom.
Okay. All right.
So Wonder Woman actress was on Saturday Night Live, and they were trying to recreate that scene, and then we created this piece. It was like, can you make this in like 2.5 days? And it was just insane. That was really fun. I enjoyed working on Gotham and making Bane's mask and Batman's mask. That was all kind of a pretty elaborate 3D modeling and 3D printing project where we had to 3D scan the actor and kind of going to full custom fitted 3D printed component, which is, I think, like one of the exciting parts that I really loved and enjoy doing, and kind of like seeing this entire process of incorporating 3D printed parts into something that will actually live in front of the camera.
What is your current situation in regards to the pandemic, COVID, you as an artist having a studio? What's up? What's going on?
So I'm this month I'm officially closing my studio. I'm out of work for studio for, well, I mean, since March 13th. So everything completely stopped. So there has been no commissions, and I decided to put it in storage for some time. It's really heartbreaking to see what is happening with all of the artisans and artists that are tied to our industry and what we are all going through. It's kind of just heartbreaking. This break from March was just like completely, like, it was confusing. Like, I never had this much time to kind of pull myself away from work, you know, like, I think, like, because I think all of us, we're not working. This is simply, you know, like, my work is my life, and if I'm not working, what am I doing? You know, like, I think like that was, and I actually, throughout this pandemic, I forced myself to create something, and I used the time in the studio to just like make anything. It's almost like sense of purpose. Like, if I'm creating, I feel like there's something that I'm contributing and something that I'm part of. And if I'm not doing that, what am I doing?